Hematology, this is Susan.
For 50 weeks out of the year, Susan Madden works here, in an office as an administrative assistant in Salt Lake City. But for 2 weeks this year, she was able to work here, in the hills of southwest Colorado, as an artist in residence at Mesa Verde National Park.
Since I was 20, I've wanted to be an artist full-time, and it doesn't work financially, so I have a day job, and then I do what my heart loves in my spare time.
Whenever Susan has a spare moment and a spare piece of fabric, she's quilting. But you're not likely to find her work draped across a bed. It's meant to be hung on a wall.
I first started learning traditional quilting. Then I started to wonder if I could use fabric the way I used paint.
Susan is a landscape quilter, and the national parks have frequently provided inspiration. This is Canyonlands National Park. This is a scene from Arches.
Some fabrics change their color.
With each new quilt, there's a quest to find just the right piece of cloth to represent a blue sky or a pink sunset.
When you're looking at these, are the gears already starting to turn where you're seeing these as pieces of fabric?
Of course, I see everything as a piece of fabric.
And so you're looking at that and you're like, I've got just the perfect...
I've got the perfect fabric for that.
I'm inclined to believe her. This is Susan's palette, and for a 2-week trip to Colorado, she packed a lot of paint.
There's more.
Where's more?
Under the couch.
There's another one of these?
There's smaller.
No, Susan, stop. Oh my gosh.
As an artist in residence, Susan was given free housing. It's a rare chance to live and work in a park where people lived and worked hundreds of years ago.
So how old is this area here?
All the cliff dwellings were built in the 13th century. You have these different construction phases.
These spectacular cliff dwellings, created by the ancient Pueblo people, prompted Teddy Roosevelt to designate Mesa Verde as the first national park to preserve the works of man. Today, rangers like David Franks are still marveling at these structures.
It's beautiful here. It's humbling. It's amazing. There's a lot of mystery.
The ancestral Puebloans left this area in the early 1300s, leaving behind these communities for archaeologists to puzzle over. They even left behind some art.
You look up in here at the 3 stories up, and you will see the painting up in there.
Susan has already started working on quilts inspired by the dwellings. She's part of a long tradition of artists who have been moved by these public lands.
Back in the 1800s, it was painters that came out west here, drew these incredible landscapes. That caught the interest of people back on the eastern part of our country. Hey, we might want to go see this, might want to save these, you know.
So while I was there, I did a sketch.
Today, several parks have artist-in-residence programs. Whether it's painting or photography or fabric, there's something about these places that makes people want to create. That's the common thread.